Well, it looks like we have a couple minutes here left to do some video roll to show you guys, and then we're moving on to David Jarboe, who's going to do a short presentation to share with us as one of our winners. I will share his information from his EduJedi certificate first, but first I think Doug is going to go ahead and share.
Now, more than ever, educators need tools to meet each student where they are. And students need personalized reading instruction to become confident readers and learn core skills that will put them on a trajectory of success. Together, we can build those skills, layering them one step at a time, working towards literacy at each student's own pace to close gaps across the curriculum. Starting with phonemic awareness and phonics, as students master foundational reading with Scholastic First. Developing vocabulary and background knowledge with Scholastic Word to deepen comprehension and make sense of what they read. And building fluency and stamina with Scholastic Literacy Pro's robust ebook library driven by each student's choices, interests, and levels. Because it's not just about learning to read. It's about reading to learn and loving to read. With digital solutions from Scholastic, you can empower students to grow as readers and become intelligent thinkers of tomorrow. You can monitor and adapt in real time to differentiate and target learning. And you can trust that together we can meet the goals of students, teachers, families, and communities with digital solutions that work.
We have with us today David Jarboe, who's the Director of Instructional Technology and STEAM from Harrison School District. And David, you have a short presentation to share with us, but let me share with you first what's happening with your district. You're a gainer. So we're super proud of you. First of all, our award reason was for your choice enrollment program and continually striving to meet the needs of students, parents, and the community with instructional technology, support, and a wide array of programs with planned internet options for families. So we're very proud of you and glad that you're going to share with us your presentation. I'm going to stop sharing so you can share whatever it is that you want to share with us today as one of our illustrious new EduJedi gainers.
Well, I'm very humbled because, a lot of people have done a lot, this past year and a half. So it is an honor, and I will get my screen up and ready to share here too. The title we were given was Secret Sauce. So I'm going to share just a few ideas. Like I said, I'm very humbled to present this information. I think it's, we have just done so much collaboration across our region and through the state and even nationally amongst technology leaders. That was all, kind of the events of the last year and a half brought us together. But really now it's how do we make the most of what we've done? So what I'm sharing is I think for my focus in instructional technology and meeting the needs of students and families, really looking at returning to the basics. It's so easy in our field to get caught up in the operations and the adults that we deal with and just the stuff, and it can be easy to lose focus on our main mission, which is students. So I'm just going to share some thoughts informally just around focusing on the learner and the learning and things that I have learned that are important to me and just keep me grounded in making a difference for kids and families. So the one thing, a lot of my background is I was a classroom teacher, a building administrator, worked in our curriculum and assessment department for many years. So I have that focus coming into technology, and I just think that's so important that we maintain that alignment, that tight alignment, that the technology is really being implemented in a way that enhances what's already in place and doesn't try to overcome or circumvent or take over, because that's always a temptation with technology. Is we get excited about things and shiny things and the next thing, and so really keeping it focused in the alignment to our curriculum maps. And my department in instructional technology works very hard to make sure that we partner with our curriculum department. We have produced documents that align all of our technology that we use into the regular curriculum. We have what we call our Tinker Room, and that's where we can allow teachers to check out technology that they can use in their classroom, because there's a lot of technology schools can't afford on their own, but we can make it available and we can support them. So creating those connections to standards, tying it to outcomes so that teachers understand the use and purpose and what it's going to do for their instruction and how it's going to help them with their goals around student achievement. And then also looking at those cross-curricular opportunities that technology can provide, because so many of the things that we do really do reach into many areas. My team presented to our school admin group this morning, and we were using Ozobots, but it was tied to literature and it was tied to math, and that just really brought it alive to them how the technology we use really can enhance the primary instruction and not be one more thing we're asking them to do. Also looking at pushing transformation, not just using technology to simplify the existing operations that we have, although that's certainly a bonus of technology, but really looking at how can it push and transform what's happening? How can it do more for students? What can you do now with the technology we have that you couldn't do even 3 or 5 years ago? So really focusing on that. So that comes down to strategic and targeted implementation. An example is that we have some VR sets that we loan out to schools and help them use those in their programs. And that's really a transformative technology because, we took students on a spacewalk, we took them scuba diving and fully immersive 360-degree environments for students. I mean, that's not something they practically can do, but giving them that experience and giving them opportunities to think about those things and write about those things. It's pretty dramatic when you see the level of engagement and the excitement that students have, but also paired with the learning that couldn't happen otherwise. Experiential learning. I love the concept of kids learning concepts before they know they're learning concepts, because a lot of the technology, especially when you get into computer science and coding, so much of the thinking and reasoning and computation and engineering design that goes in is really getting them to practice what they're going to be learning even before they call it those things. So that's just important for students to have that experience. Analytic and adaptive is huge right now, and looking at what we can do with technology to really meet the needs of students and rely on the technology, not to take over for teachers, but really to assist with teachers. And some of that's tied into the emerging artificial intelligence that everyone's jumping on board with. And I think that will be a transformation in instruction, the way we'll be able to really move forward with students. And that's the next item is personalized. It's certainly those things will allow us to personalize, but also individualize instruction for students. And I think that's going to be paramount in the future. Providing access and equity. Obviously, a lot of districts were infused with a lot of money through the ESSER funds. We were able to go one-to-one K-12 district-wide. So that was certainly a benefit. Untethered broadband and connectivity is something that we have looked at as a district in providing to make sure that we can have all these things, but if students can't get online, that's just key now. You can't really do technology without being online. Providing training. Some of the lessons learned from the past was we would push out technology and not really provide enough training for staff or students and how to really fully maximize what we're doing. So that's something we're working on, is to make sure anytime we bring something on board, we have a plan to train users and how to capitalize on that technology. And then digital collaboration, although we know there's many challenges around that, just as, sharing sound over your collaborative platform. But certainly, despite those challenges, it's something that is here to stay. There's just so much more that you can do with that capability that really has been advancing. And we know the platforms still have work to do. I was running a session last week, and I had my breakout room started, and two of them didn't connect. But so you have to be adaptive yourself, but you can't. I think that technology is just so key in making things available that you can do within a building, within a district, and even globally now, providing those experiences for students that never could happen before. And that's true transformation. Another key element is building that human capacity, and really beyond just professional development, but really making sure that your staff and students have that, are growing along with the technology, because it is so easy to get stuck or rely on old tools when there's so much more that is emerging that we can take advantage of. So part of that in our world is we really like to do just-in-time training. I know, at the beginning of the year you roll out a lot of PD, but sometimes that just doesn't work in that old model. Sometimes it needs to be, hey, I'm doing this next week, I need the training now. So finding ways to provide that on-demand, just-in-time training for staff. Again, collaboration is key. That is one thing that I hear repeatedly, that schools and teachers and districts are just doing so much more collaboration now, which was born out of necessity, but it's something we certainly want to continue. The other thing that we try to do when we roll something out is really look at being available to staff and really honoring their time and willing to work side by side. If they have a piece of technology that they want to use in their classroom, we're willing to come out with them and teach with them and co-teach with them until they're comfortable. And that would bring the last step of gradual release, of kind of, we get in there with them, but then we also back off and let them take the technology to where they need it to go for them in what they're trying to accomplish in their classroom. So again, nothing super profound around my secret sauce, but it's just keeping grounded in some of those principles, because I know it's so easy to get distracted and lose track of what the focus needs to be. And that goes back to the learning that you're trying to present to students, and then also the learner themselves, and not losing focus of that human connection in a digital world. So that was kind of a whirlwind, LeiLani, but that's kind of what I had to share this afternoon on my secret sauce.
Okay, well, that was awesome. Here's my favorite part is the fact that you paid attention to the human side, human capacity. It's something I hear from a lot of leaders is so important. So I'm really glad you touched on that. David, I want to say thank you so much. And again, your certificate, we're going to send off to you. So you have this. And you also can start using the EduJedi Gainer logo on everything, your websites. People can put it in their email, stuff like that. So everybody knows that you're super awesome, because we all want them to know that. But thank you so much for sharing with us what you just shared with us. I could probably talk to you for another hour, but I don't have the time right now. So I have to do a regroup on another day. But David, awesome work.
Absolutely.